Today we're going to focus on American regionalism, which was a style of artwork or art movement that took place back in the 1930s and 40s. And it was popular here in the Midwest United States, so right around our area, and it focused on pictures of common everyday life in our region. So these first two pictures were done by an artist named Thomas Hart Benton. This is a painting by Grant Wood, also Grant Wood, and you can see that they just picture common everyday things from our region back when these were painted. So we're going to focus on our region nowadays and do some artwork that we're really well known for, which is the Plaza lights during the holiday season. Kansas City is really well known for this. People come from all over the world to see the Plaza lights, so we're going to do some artwork that celebrates that. And as you look at these photographs, I just want you to get some ideas for shapes of buildings or details that you can add to buildings. You will be doing a painting of one building here soon, and you will be doing it in one color of lights. As you can see, most of these buildings are done with lights of primarily one color. But what makes it so interesting is all of the beautiful architecture, the interesting styles of rooftops and shapes of the windows. So get some ideas for that. Okay, so before you can do your painting, you need to draw out your building first. And you can see I thought of doing an interesting shape for my building and never just do a plain rooftop. So before you begin, make sure you get your first name, last name, and class code on the back and turn it over and start drawing out your building details. Now, you don't want anything to be teeny tiny. The windows need to be at least the size of about a quarter or bigger, just because they need to be big enough for you to paint. And we're using a white colored pencil because it's easier to see. You can also use a regular pencil if you would like. But just keep in mind as you're drawing and adding details that the white colored pencils will not erase. So draw nice and big and take your time. Think of adding some interesting details. You can add architectural elements or decorations on the buildings. Again, keeping them nice and big. And just keep kind of building from there so you have an interesting roof line and details. Okay, and this looks pretty good. I've mostly filled up my paper. I've focused on drawing one building with interesting details, and I've added some details in it. When you get done with this, come show it to me and I'll let you pick out your paint color. And we're actually going to paint these with Q-tips. Now, just a little bit of paint, and you want to think of doing straight, even rows that are evenly spaced. If you think about how it would look on a building, they're evenly spaced and they're usually pretty straight. So I'm just going along now. You don't want your lights touching, but you also want them fairly close together. The closer together you can kind of get them in that evenly spaced neat row, the better the effect will be. We're wanting to see the lights on this and not necessarily that white line that you just drew. And I'm just going to carefully keep going through and evenly dotting in my lights. Notice that I'm starting to paint from one side of my building and working across, instead of doing the outside and then filling the windows in between. I don't want to smear my outside details when I fill in my windows. Okay, I am done, so I can put my painting supplies away. The Q-tip can go in the trash, the cup of paint can go on the back counter. And then once I have my painting supplies put away, I can get my iPad, photograph it with my camera, submit it on canvas, and then my artwork goes to the drying rack. Can't wait to see your Regionalism Plaza lights. Have fun.